Okay. All right, we'd like to welcome Jason Day into the interview room. He is making his 13th career start at the BMW Championship, and he is our 2015 champion. Jason, welcome to the BMW Championship. I know it's a tournament that you love, but we can get some comments on being here this week.
It's good to be back here in Denver. No, we believe, when was Cherry Hills, John?
2014.
2014, yeah. So it's been actually a long time since Cherry Hills. But I feel like this is a great market to be in. Obviously, Castle Pines is setting up nice for a good championship, and I love what they have done to the golf course and also the clubhouse. I think the membership should be happy about that, be proud of that, and then I think we've got obviously a great field here this week with the top 50. So I'm looking forward to a good championship. It's just BMW do an amazing job. Every single year we come and play. It's just, you can feel it's definitely different to most tournaments.
And let's talk about the state of your game as you try to make Eastlake next week.
Yeah, this is like a story that I'm trying to change in my mind. Obviously, like I haven't played as solid as I'd like to, so I just got to kind of work on a few things. I've been constantly trying to work on my swing to just kind of feel a certain shot, and I'm just kind of working on that right now. But overall, like I feel like my short game's good, my putting feels good. Just kind of work out the swing and kind of find something this week would be good.
All right, let's start with Cameron right here on the left.
Yep.
Hey, Jace. If someone were to have said to you in 06,
yep,
when you were here, that in 2024 you would have accomplished all of this, world number one, you would have won a major, you would have won several times, would you have said no way, or is that all?
No.
Or what would you have said in 06?
06, I would have been excited that someone would have said that to me. Obviously, being from where I was and kind of just starting out freshly as a professional, to hear that would have been amazing. But it was always, a goal of mine and Cole's to get to number one, and we had a plan to get to number one at like 22, something like that, and then we didn't obviously get there until we were in my late 20s, but we ended up getting there, which was good. So we were always goal-driven. Granted, now some of those goals were pretty lofty. Like getting to number one in the world, it's very difficult to do. There's a small percentage of guys that have done that, and I know that. But I felt like I had the game as a young kid to be able to develop it a little bit more and be able to accomplish that goal, even though we still had the likes of Tiger and Phil and Ernie and these VJ and these big guys that were still playing the game. But looking forward from 2006 until now, I feel very happy with what I've accomplished in my career. Getting to number one, winning a major, the wins that I've had out here on the PGA Tour, some big ones. I feel very grateful that I had the opportunity to not only win those tournaments but also be out here for this long. It's very difficult these days, I feel like, to stay out on the PGA Tour just because it's super competitive these days. But it's nice to know that, I've adapted over the years. I've stayed pretty young, even though I've had some health issues. I stayed pretty young mentally and physically, so that's been nice.
And then, secondly, Xander and Scotty have both had very special seasons.
Yes.
They look a little bit different.
Yeah.
If you could choose one or the other, which would you choose and why?
Ooh. I think once you get to a certain point, you start thinking about major championships. So it'd be nice for me to be able to, cap off a few more majors. So I think, even though I'm definitely not knocking Scotty's year because it's tremendous and it's phenomenal, I think he is the player of the year currently right now. Even though Xander's won 2 majors, I would probably go more towards the majors just because I want to add more majors to my career.
All right, let's go back right, and then we'll move up to the bin.
Jason, in 2006, you were still trying to find your way onto the tour.
Yes.
I'm wondering if you've ever pinpointed a tournament, a round, a moment when you told yourself, I definitely can play at that level?
I'm trying to think. I wouldn't say it was a moment. I would just say that it was just a gradual build-up. I think 2014 was crucial for me, even though I didn't win in 2014. I could just see that there were things building up in my game that year. What I was working on mentally, the process that I was working on, physically, what I was doing in the gym, and how my body was changing, and how much more speed that I had gained. Because at that point I was starting to put more muscle on than what I had before, and I started gaining more speed, which made the game ultimately easier for me. So it's not more so like a tournament that like, hey, this is what changed. I could tell you exactly the moment where I started feeling better with my putting, but I know exactly the moment. It was on the 10th hole at Hilton Head where I holed a bomb 60-footer, and since then, like, my putting changed instantly. But that's not the question, obviously. So yeah, I think it was just 2014 was huge, and then going into 2015, winning at Farmers Insurance early in the year, and then feeling like, hey, I'm kind of part of this tour now. Like, I feel more established, even though I had some great years before that. I didn't have a lot of wins, and then from 2015 on, that's when like things started kind of falling in place.
All right, let's go to Ben and then Bob.
Well, I know all about those great wins on tour, etc. But tell me your most memorable money match with either mates or guys here in preparation, whether
Money
it's
match.
a win or a loss.
So typically we play hammer at home, and it's $1 hammer. And I'm playing with Ricker, as you know, and he's a good player. He's a good buddy of mine. We grew up together. And I'm playing with Luke, and I think another buddy, might have been David Luderis. But we're standing on the 17th hole at Mount Vernon Country Club's par 3 down the hill. It's literally a pitching wedge. And we all hit our tee shots, and we just started hammering Ricker. And we started getting kind of angry at each other, so we kept on hammering. And by the end of it, I think it was like he had a 10-foot putt down the hill left to right, and it was for $780 from $1 hammer. So it just goes to show how much we hammered. And obviously, a hammer doubles every single time you say it. But yeah, those can get out of hand pretty quick.
Did he make it?
Yeah, he did. I couldn't believe it, which was insane, because I would have guaranteed my friends. I don't really take money off people, but if it's my friends, I'm 100% taking their money.
All right, Bob.
Just wondering if you had a lot of at the Olympics. You were very sort of moved by the occasion.
Yeah.
Was there any? Did that linger at all? Like, did it give you a boost coming back? Anything that stuck with you that has maybe you've tried to keep in your mind to play?
Well, it taught me that it's not always about the money that we play for. It's about, like, because we went over there, it's 1, 2, or 3. And if you're not one of those, you're going home. I finished T9th, and I'm like, congratulations, you finished T9. You don't get anything, you go home. And it taught me the urgency of, like, hey, I need to go out there and try and do something to win, that's what you need out here. Like, I mean, I think sometimes you can get a little bit comfortable out here and going, yeah, top 10 is not too bad. Top 5 is not too bad. But, like, when you are playing with some urgency, when your back's pushed against the wall and you need to go out and do what you need to do, that's a level of motivation, a level of playing that, like, I would love to be in all the time. It's just sometimes, like, you just kind of get your own way, and you're like, yeah, a top 10 is pretty good here this week. But, like, that's not the mentality. You have to go out and try and win every single week. So that's kind of what I got out of it, was either got to finish 1, 2, or 3, or it's not good enough. And obviously it wasn't good enough.
Did you ever, by chance, look into what the Australian Olympic people pay their medal winners? Or, like, Scotty got like $33,000 or something.
No, I did.
From the U.S.
Well, I mean, to be honest, I was happy to be there. I didn't look at, I don't know how much they pay. I heard, I think it's Malaysia or Singapore is like some astronomical number. But you know, that's life-changing for a lot of people. You know, obviously that's amazing if they can do that and accomplish that. That's amazing. But I think being from Australia and the way that we view the Olympics down in Australia is completely different to most other countries in regards to whatever they pay out. Like, I mean, the money that they pay out is just like a little bit of icing on top of the cake, because like at the end of the day, you're like trying to win a medal, and that's, as Australians, that's what we've always looked at. It's like gold, silver, bronze. Did the person win the medal? And that's like kind of our main focus. Yeah.
All right. Anything? Yep. Let's go right here, front row, sir. Thank you.
I'm curious, even though it's 18 years ago, do you remember anything when you went out there this week from 2006?
I do remember the elevation change off 1. I do remember 6. A little bit of 6. I know they changed that. I do remember 7. I know they lengthened that as well. But some of the other holes are just kind of all fuzzy. 18 years is a long time, but yeah, that's kind of what I remember of the course. I do remember walking up these steps thinking David Toms has an amazing haircut, though. He had a visor on one time. And while I was walking out, there was not one bit of hair out of place. I was walking right behind him. But they're the kind of memories that I have. And yeah, that's only what I can think of.
The changes of the course, they didn't really strike you from then to now?
Yeah, it's kind of hard. I can't quite remember like, I mean, what I'm seeing right now is what I'm kind of getting, and like it's almost like I'm seeing it for the first time again. I can kind of get the gist. I remember telling Luke last week, my caddy, and I said, look, it's an interesting first tee ball, you know, especially with this wind. It's in out of the left, and the elevation change is huge, and the ball stays up in the air for such a long time. So, yeah, I do remember telling him that it's on a side of a hill, and there's going to be a lot of elevation change, and the walk is going to be hard. That's what I do remember. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right. Well, Jason, we appreciate your time. Best of luck this week.
Thank you. Appreciate it.